Today is Monday, Parashat Vayakhel, Pikudei, and actually this coming Shabbat is Shabbat HaChodesh, which means we're going to read Shnei Parashiot Mechubarot, Shnei Parashiot Mechubarot is two Parashiot that are coming together, Vayakhel and Pikudei, and with that we'll conclude the whole book of Shemot. But we'll take out also a second Sefer Torah, in which we'll read Parashat HaChodesh, which is the portion of Parashat Bo that tells us about the Kiddush HaChodesh, the sanctifying of the new moon, and this is an anticipation of Rosh Chodesh Nisan, coming next week on Thursday. We're ready on the Shabbat before, announced, so to speak, through the declaration, or through rather the reading of the portion that has to do with Kiddush HaChodesh. We announced the beginning also of the coming month of Nisan. The parasha of this week continues on the subject of making the vessels and all the aspects of the Mishkan. It opens by the idea of observing Shabbat, but there is one pasuk here in the parasha that teaches us a very important lesson. Pasuk says, "V'hanesiim eviu et avnei hashoyim ve'et avnei hamluim la'efod ve'lachoshen." And the Nesiim, which is the heads of the tribes, they brought the precious stones that were necessary for Choshen Mishpat and for the ephod, because the ephod was a kind of apron that had straps on the shoulders and had in it some jewels here on both sides, and also there were some jewels on the Choshen Mishpat, on the breastplate that he carried, the Aaron HaKohen carried. But the pasuk, when it speaks about the Nesiim, the heads of the tribes, grammatically, it should have a yud in there, in the way that it's spelled, but there is a yud that is missing. Why is that yud missing? It should say Nesiim with a yud. There is no yud there. The reason for that is because the Nesiim, the heads of the tribes, when the mitzvah for bringing all the materials that were needed for making the Mishkan, the sanctuary that traveled with them in the desert, and every one of Am Yisrael was asked to contribute. They said that everybody contribute, and whatever is missing will complete. You could think that's a great thing. You have a fundraising campaign for a new building, and there is a couple of wealthy guys that says, "Don't worry, whatever you need will cover. Just let everybody give first, and then we'll complete whatever is needed." Well, what happened is the people, the rank and file, contributed everything that was needed and even more. And therefore, there was nothing for the Nesiim, for the heads of the tribes, to contribute. They ended up having to contribute only those jewels that were for the Choshen and the ephod. And yes, these are very valuable and expensive, and they merited to do that mitzvah. But in a sense, they were actually held to task in a way by not acting promptly. Because when a person has a mitzvah that comes his way, he should ask to do it. He should act with bezrizut, which means alacrity, which means promptness, enthusiasm, a certain type of speed in grabbing the opportunity to do the mitzvah. They procrastinated. They wanted to do it later. Whatever is missing will complete. That is wrong. A person should look at every opportunity to do a mitzvah as something that is fleeting. It's coming there, you can do it then. If you don't, you're missing an opportunity to do a mitzvah. Maybe the mitzvah will not be available to do in the future. So every moment in life is an opportunity to act properly. And therefore, since they didn't act with enough speed, but rather they delayed, there was a yud that is missing in their name, in the pasuk. And really, from this we learn for ourselves, it's not just for the Nesiim. Any opportunity to do a mitzvah, Hachamim said, mitzvah, haba liyadecha al tahmitzena. Mitzvah comes your way, don't miss the opportunity to do it. And tahmitzena in Hebrew, which means don't miss the opportunity, it means also chametz, just like chametz. If you give time for the dough with water and let it rise, it will rise. It becomes chametz. So a mitzvah should not become chametz. It should be done promptly as soon as the opportunity comes. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.